Hello, 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 hello. My name is Nakia. Welcome to my channel. Today, we are here to do the mid-year freak out tag. Yes, it is my first one, so I'm excited. I hope you are too. Come back after the intro and let's hear what I have to say. Okay, I have seen a lot of these videos. I enjoy them. Every time I see one pop up, I'm like, click, I'm there. Yes, yeah, I just love them. I never get enough. So I waited till pretty much the end of June to do mine because I wanted to make sure I got all of my books included that I have read in the month of June. There may be one extra one, but for right now, I've pretty much completed all the books I'm going to complete up until June. So let's get into it, shall we? Question number one, best book you've read so far in 2021. Now, you know I can't just give one answer. No, sir, no, ma'am. I could, but I got to add a couple in here. First up would be Nightmare by Chad Nicholas. This book took me by surprise. This was a group buddy read that I did with Steve Talks About Books and Stuff. We did a live chit chat with Chad Nicholas. And yeah, I was a little nervous because I was like, Lord, if I don't like this book, what am I going to say? I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to be honest. But I was pleasantly surprised. It kept me captivated from the first page until the very end. I could not stop flipping the pages. This was such a good horror novel. It was perfect for me. It wasn't too gory. It was not, nothing in there that was trigger warning-y. Nothing that was just inappropriate for my taste. So yeah, I just loved it. There were some twists. It was a psychological horror novel. It was just everything horror-wise that I look for. So yes, loved it. And the next one I know comes as no surprise to you because I have talked about this book enough. And that would be The One by John Mars. I just love this book. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. This book, the concept is what intrigued me. The fact that you could take a DNA test and it would tell you who your soulmate is, who you're supposed to be with. But then when some problems come up with these tests, like if you get matched with someone, you're not attracted to, we already know that one. But if it's somebody that's way older than you or way younger, what if you're already in a relationship? What if they're already in a relationship? What if it's someone of a gender that you're not attracted to? And on and on and on. So I held off reading this book because I was concerned about the romance part of the book, but I am so glad I read it. Yes, there's romance. So if you don't want any of that, then this is not the book for you, but it was fine for me. And I'm so glad I read it because it is, as I've said, one of my favorite books of 2021 so far. The other one that has just made this list because I just finished this book today. It is Sunday. And that would be another John Mars book, The Passengers. Now, we already know I'm just loving me some John Mars. But The Passengers is another one that I was a little bit hesitant on because I had seen trigger warnings that I was concerned about, but I was like, you know what? And people were saying it was a little dark, much darker than The One. So I was like, I'm just gonna take a chance. You have to excuse my cats are running around here like they got no sense. Hi, you wanna come up? And as always, my cat Wheezy wants to say hi, or I don't know if you can see him, but he's right here. Okay, anyway, yeah, I had heard that it was much darker than The One. So I was like, I'm just gonna try it and see. And I will say, it is an intense book, an intense ride. There are so many twists and turns, but it was not too much for me. And that says a lot. So I'm so glad I read it. It was I'm not going to say because you're going to have to wait till my wrap up. But I love this book is what I'm going to say. And I will hold all my other comments for my wrap up. But yes, I'm so glad I read it. Another one, best of 2021 so far. Question number 2, best sequel you've read so far in 2021. I've only read 2 sequels. One was Binti. The second book I believe was called Binti Home. And then the other one was Kilman Creek, which is a sequel to Stillhouse Lake. And so between the two, the best one I've read so far was Kilman Creek. Binti Home was not as good as the first Binti book for me. I'm looking forward to reading the third one. But Kilman Creek was a good sequel to Stillhouse Lake. Stillhouse Lake was still better, but I did also enjoy Kilman Creek. I talked about this in one of my wrap-ups. I'll put a link to it here. I don't remember which one. But yeah, it was a good sequel. Really no complaints. It, to me, wrapped up the story, so I don't know if I'll go further. I probably will. I probably will want to see what else is going to happen with the main character, so we'll see. Stay tuned. But yeah, so far, best sequel of 2021. Question number 3. New release you haven't read yet but want to. I have 3 for this one. So, Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I read The Martian. I didn't love it, but I did enjoy it. I had to have the help of the audiobook, but I still enjoyed it to make me want to read another book by him. So I am looking forward to Hail Mary. I've been hearing good things. Of course, Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I will be reading that in July. You should probably already have seen my July TBR. If not, I'll pop it up here on the screen. And Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. I enjoyed No Exit. It did have some things that were a little problematic for me. And I felt that some things were a little far-fetched, but I enjoyed it enough to make me want to read Hairpin Bridge. And I've read a little bit of the intro to it. So far it looks good. So yes, I'm adding that to the list. Stay tuned for that. Question number 4. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. This one was in my 2021 thriller releases I'm excited for, and I have still been excited since I talked about this book in that video. And that would be My Sweet Girl. I don't have the author's name right here in front of me, but I'll pop it up here on the screen, or I'll put a picture of the book up here so you'll know the author's name. But I am so looking forward to that book. It's about this woman who gets a roommate, and then he finds out some secret of hers, and then I think he's going to try to blackmail her, but then he turns up dead, and she didn't do it, so now she got to find out who did it, and then, you know, of course, she's a suspect. All this good stuff. Sounds good to me. I cannot wait. That comes out in September. I'm so excited. Next question. Number 5, biggest disappointment. I have 2 actually for this one. 1, I'm sorry. I've talked about this and you're going to hear it again, but I'm thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. This was a huge disappointment for me because I had heard it was so scary and it did nothing for me. It ended up being a DNF. I was irritated by the main character. I did not care about her or the boyfriend. I found out the twist to the book, so I know how it ends, and that didn't make it any better for me. I still was glad I didn't read it, so huge disappointment. The other one would be Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. This is another one. I actually finished it because it kept me intrigued enough that I was just like, the whole time I was reading it, I was like, I know this is not what this book is about. I know this is not what this book is about. Until the very end, I was just like, I know that's not what this book is about. And when I got to the last line, last page, I was just like, okay. It's not what I thought it was about. So I was super disappointed. Super disappointed. I don't want to say anything else because anything else will be a spoiler. That's all I'm going to say. You can check my review on Goodreads. I think I have a spoiler there. Of course, it's hidden, but you can still look at it. And yeah, I'm sure you can find spoilers out there if you don't want to read it and want to know what I'm talking about. This question is just irritating me because of these 2 books, so let's move on. Number 6, biggest surprise. I also have a couple answers for this. The first one is obvious, the one I just talked about this as far as, like I said, I was not looking forward to reading it because of the romance aspect. But again, I'm so glad I did because it ended up being just wonderful. It was more thriller suspense for me than romance, but I even enjoyed the romance. I was here for these couples and wanted to know what was going to happen with them, so that was a surprise for me. Next up would be Binti by Enidi Okorafor. This one was a pleasant surprise because it was the first sci-fi novel I read. I'm not sure if I read this before The Martians or not, but it's the first one that I read that I enjoyed. I could not put it down. It was a novella, but I read it in one sitting. And I think I read it in like 2 hours. It was just so good. It was a pleasant surprise. And I am a fan of her from now on. And then last, my other biggest surprise was 12 Nights at Rotter House. This one was a surprise because at this point when I read this book, I was kind of like, I just don't even know with this horror genre because the ones I keep reading have problematic issues for me. There's always something in it that's just disturbing, and not in like the spooky way, in the why was that in that way? So I read this book in a month that I was doing all haunted house books just to see if the horror genre was still for me. And this one renewed my hope and faith. I so enjoyed it. It did have an issue that was problematic for me. I talked about it in my review. You can check it out. But overall, I enjoyed it. It ended up being one of my favorite horror books that I read until I got to Nightmare. But yeah, so it was a pleasant surprise. Question number 7. Favorite new author, debut, or new to you? I'm pretty sure you already know the answer. John Mars. Of course. John Mars. I have read 2 books so far by him that I love. I'm afraid to read anything else because I just don't want to mess it up. I do want to read his other 2 books though, and I plan to. The Minders, I've only heard one bad review of it. Other than that, I haven't really heard anything, so I'm still going to read it. And then he has another one. I forgot what it's called. I'll pop it up here on the screen. But that one I've heard is also pretty dark. But one thing about his writing, he never goes too far for me. And like I said, I am not here for a lot of things. So I feel like even when he has dark subject matter, he goes right on the edge to where I'd be like, okay, all right, now where we going with this? And then he stops. So I'm hoping that's the same for this other book. But yes, John Mars, new favorite author. He has done no wrong for me so far. Moving on. Question number 8, newest fictional crush. I don't have crushes on, first of all, I don't really get a good picture of these guys in these books when I'm reading. I mean, the horror books, you're not gonna find anybody to crush on, but in my thriller books, even when one of the characters falls for one of these guys, I don't get a good enough picture to have a crush on them. So yeah, no. Moving on. Question number 9, newest favorite character. That would be Libby from The Passengers. She is pretty much the main character in The Passengers that we're following. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give anything away, but she is the type of character, female character that I enjoy. Tough, smart, going toe to toe with folks. Like I said, I don't want to say too much. I'd like to feel like that's how I am. So, because you don't want to go there with me. Like if it comes to a debate or something, I got facts, I got knowledge, I'm gonna do my research. And that's what I like about her. Smart, like I said, toe to toe. You don't want this. Loved it. Moving on. Number 10, book that made you cry. I haven't had one yet. I came close with The Passengers, actually. There are quite a few deaths in the book. And in the very beginning, they were just hard for me to take. It was so descriptive and just, whew. I didn't cry, I didn't get misty, but I felt like I was on the edge. If it had gone further, I might have shed a tear. But yeah, no book has made me cry so far this year. And I cry easily, so I don't know. We're gonna have to work on that. Anyway, question number 11, book that made you happy. My Scary Stories Treasury book. I read this book for June, for my birthday month, and I had so much fun reading it. I pretty much read the whole thing out loud because I wanted it to be like I'm reading ghost stories, campfire. I read a bunch of stories to my daughter, to my cat, Wheezy. I just had so much fun with this book. I enjoyed it so much. I probably will reread some of the stories this Halloween because I just really enjoyed it. It just makes me happy. The artwork just... it's my childhood, so yeah, there you go. And question number 12, most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. I just talked about my Scary Stories Treasury book. You're gonna make me take it down for you. Look at this cover. And then also, if you don't know, the artwork inside the book is just so nice. I just love the artwork. It's just, yes, I love this book. And this is still one of my most beautiful books. It's not the most pristine copy. I would love to get a hardback if they have one day, but yes. The other one would be Nightmare by Chad Nicholas. I have this on my Kindle. I purchased it with my own money, and I will show some images up here on the screen, but I love the cover, and inside each chapter had all this beautiful artwork of crows and scarecrows. It was just, I loved it. So yeah, both just happen to be horror books, but yeah, love those books. Next question. Oh, we're at the last question. Question number 13. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Like everyone else, I have so many left on my TBR, but to name a few, I want to read The Plot. I don't remember the author's name, so again, picture will be up here on the screen. I have heard so many good things about this book, so I have got to read it before the end of the year. And I really also want to get back to my sci-fi books because I haven't read that many, and I'm like, you know what? I said more sci-fi books this year, and so far I'm not doing so well. So I want to read Dark Matter and Recursion by Blake Crouch, I believe is his name. I don't know. It's up here on the screen. Again, I didn't put all this stuff down on my paper. But yeah, both of those books I want to read and plan to read before the end of the year. Do No Harm was also on my 2021 most anticipated thrillers, and I definitely want to read that one. It's being compared to Breaking Bad, about a mom whose child has cancer and she starts selling prescription drugs, I believe, to help with her child's cancer treatments. And then you're getting into the drug business, some thuggery and shady characters. So I'm looking forward to that. And I also want to complete the Binti series and read Binti number 3. I've already purchased the audiobook because I wanted to hear the narrator read. I want to hear how she pronounces the terms and things in the book that I probably was saying wrong. So yeah, I already have the audiobook. Definitely want to read that. And last but not least, again, I have many, but just for this tag, House by the Cemetery. I have heard this book is scary. I hope so. And I want to get to this one before October because I want to do my whole books I recommend for Halloween. So yes, I definitely want to read that one soon. I've been looking forward to it since I heard about it last year. So I hope to get to it soon. And that wraps up my first mid-year freak out tag video. I can't wait to look back on this next year and see what I have for my next one because I missed the quarterly update video because I'm new to BookTube. By the time I hear about a lot of these things, it's too late. So I was happy I heard about this one in time that I could jump in. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you want to answer any of these questions. Yeah, I'm curious. Let me know in the comments what your best book is that you've read so far in 2021 and your biggest disappointment. I really want to know about the biggest disappointments. And if you've made it this far and you don't have a comment, just leave me a black heart or any color heart that you choose. And that's all we have for this video. So until next time, snuggle up in your hideaway with a good book, unplug as much as possible, be kind to all kind, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.